Hello, my name is Eddie. I am a working photographer located in Northern Virginia. I mainly photograph real estate, and today I'd like to go over what I have in my bag. And starting with the bag itself, this is a Pelican 1510, and I've had this guy for about 4 years now. Been really good to me. Keep a bit of gaff tape on it, just in case I need some. Comes in handy. And the other bag that goes into every house with me is this. This holds the light stand and the tripods. So 2 bags in and out every house. This is a Westcott bag, and I believe it was part of a collection called Bob and Dawn Davis. It came with a softbox, an umbrella, some light stands. It was supposed to be a speed light modifier kit. Really nice stuff. I bought it many years ago. Not sure what happened to the rest of the collection, but the bag has been a good friend of mine. Been to every house with me now for probably 4 years. All right, let's go over the camera gear. So this is all inside the Pelican. Let's start with the camera. I'm a Fuji shooter. This is an X-T3, and got it a little bit after it came out. Been very pleased with it. I had a Nikon D750 prior to this, and I just wanted something smaller. And to be totally honest, something a little bit more affordable, where I can get more lenses and additional camera bodies. This has been my camera since. Good little camera. The main lens I use is a Rokinon 12mm f2. This is an all-manual lens, and there's a lot of good reviews on this little guy. In fact, it's very common with real estate photographers using a crop sensor camera like this one, or the Sony 6000 series, to use this lens. Great little lens. I also have the Fuji 10-24 f4. Good lens. I bought this shortly after I bought the camera body because I needed a lens to do my work. Pretty expensive lens. This was beat up used, and I picked it up for $700, and normally it's $1,000. When on sale, it's $900. I like the lens. This guy is just more natural looking, so not as much distortion, warping. It's sharper, but all said and done, the biggest reason I got this lens is Fuji uses a focus by wire, which means when you spin the focus wheel, you're not really turning any gears. You're just telling the camera to tell the lens what to do. It's really annoying, and with real estate, it's 100% of the time in manual focus. So this focus by wire was really getting on my nerves and pretty aggravating to use. So I've only used this lens once since I got the Rokinon, and when I say it's been about 6-7 months and many homes, and the only time I used it, I was doing a twilight shoot and I had both cameras going. So other than that, this guy gets no play, but he still remains in the bag. Let's see, I use one of these think tanks to keep my cards, and I use ScanDisk. I used to use Lexar, but I find them to be a little slow as far as data going back and forth. Much happier with the ScanDisk. Alright, so that's pretty much camera, lens, nice and simple. I'm going to go over the lights that I use, and I'm an ambient shooter, so I shoot a flash shot and an ambient shot and blend them in post. So starting with the biggest light, this is a Evolve 200 by Flashpoint. All my lights are Flashpoint because I get them from Adorama. but these guys are rebranded in many different brands. So this is my main light, and this light goes in this pouch. I picked this up at Walmart, just like this, just like that. This goes on my belt, and I pull this out and hold it up every time I use it. That whole Statue of Liberty technique. Yes. So first light. I do carry one more of these guys, and this one is meant to go on a light stand. This guy hardly ever comes out of the bag. The only time I ever use it is on a humongous house where I need massive power in 2 different places. It's just much easier to not have a light stand and another big light to manage when you're going through a house. So this guy really doesn't come out of the bag. Last time I used it, it was a 12,000 square feet home, and that was pretty much it. So I'm going to put this one back in the bag. Next light is a Flashpoint 860 version 2, I believe. And this is the lithium ion powered speed light. Not quite as powerful as this one, but it definitely is very powerful, and it's quite capable of lighting a pretty good sized space. And the other 2 lights that I have are these little guys, the Flashpoint 350. They're also called the Mini. Quite a bit smaller, but they play a really big role in lighting small rooms or bathrooms or things kind of in the distance. They do quite a bit. It would take me a lot longer if I didn't have these 2 guys. And the thing with me is I like to be pretty mobile and be able to carry all 4 of these when I go through a house. And once I go over the light stand bag, I'll show you guys how I do that. These lights are all triggered by this guy, which is the Flashpoint R2 remote. Good little remote. Really allows me to control everything with detail. And one thing I like about it too, although I don't use it that much, is I can have these 3 guys on manual and the main one on TTL. Sometimes if I'm trying to speed through a house, that helps. But sometimes it can be really frustrating too. So 90% of the time, everything is on manual setting, and I control everything with this guy. Channel A, Channel B, and these 2 guys are Channel C, and this guy is Channel D. I wouldn't mind having these 2 guys on a separate channel, but I can't figure out how to put these guys past Channel C. These 2 go to Channel G and F, but I can't figure out how to. I think these guys are only ABC. I could be wrong. So anyways, if somebody knows how to do that, please let me know. But yeah, so A, B, these 2 are C, and this guy is Channel D, and everything's controlled with this guy. What else do I carry? A little flashlight. Use it every now and then. A little tiny Leatherman pocket knife. Haven't used it yet. I carry a little pocket knife with me when I go, and that comes in handy sometimes. Just to even like hold doors open or do little things. Bunch of extra batteries, and I carry some tools, like a set of Allen keys, some mounts, or tripod mounts, just in case. I don't use the tripod mounts anymore because both cameras are equipped with this little battery grip that's an Arca Swiss, and it goes right into my tripod. Some business cards, and some footies just in case I don't want to take my shoes off or whatever the case may be, but I snagged them out of a house and just keep them in my bag. Don't really use them. I have a AA battery holder with some gaff tape, and I also have some gaff tape on my camera bag, which I use more than I thought. Comes in handy to have some gaff tape laying around. All right, let's go over the light stands and the tripod. Ooh. Let's start with the tripod. This is the tripod. Nothing fancy, no carbon fiber, no gear head. It's a Mi Photo, I forget which model it is. I bought this thing like years ago. It's been through 5 different cameras with me, and I think into 500 homes, and it was $200. I couldn't be happier with it. Little heavy. The legs don't slide in and out very smooth anymore, but it's definitely been really good. Really no problems. Same original head. It's a ball head. I actually think I would prefer a ball head to a gear head. I am not a super professional real estate photographer, and I think to me speed is more important than maybe having the right angle, and I have become so dependent of Lightroom's autocorrect on the verticals. Does a beautiful job. So the ball head serves me just right. I prefer it over a gear head. So there's the tripod. My favorite light stand ever is actually not a light stand, it's a monopod. And for the longest time I used a light stand, and I still keep one in my bag for when the bigger of the 200 comes out. But this guy holds this flash, so it goes in right there, like so. These 3 legs pop out. And that's it. Voila. And this goes pretty high, about 6 feet or so. I believe it goes up high enough. But the best thing is it allows me to have this in one hand and my tripod in the other and go up and down steps, which is priceless. And then it's really easy to maneuver this any way, shape, form. I can set it on top of a vanity. I can set it on top of a kitchen counter. I can set it on steps. So this really allows me to do 20 times more than what a tripod would allow me. And I'm not banging its legs into anything as I move around the house. So by far, my favorite tripod, which is this monopod. Oh, and this is a iFootage C180 carbon fiber. Pretty fancy. All right, what else is in this bag? The only other thing in this bag is this Manfrotto 5001B light stand with a Manfrotto umbrella stand, and this is not a Manfrotto mount. It's the eBay Chinese one. I've had a few. They're okay. The other 2 have broken. I'm waiting for this one to break, and I'll definitely buy the Manfrotto one because it does matter. It really does. But I don't use this light stand much. Again, it only comes out when I'm in a property that's humongous and it has multiple entertaining rooms that with high ceilings where I need 2 of these guys to light the place. So that is pretty much it. So if you have any questions about any of the gear, please ask, and maybe I will do a video on how I carry the lights next. Thank you for tuning in.